Long before the championship belts, worldwide fame, and constant social media attention, Claressa Shields was already fighting battles that most people never saw. By the time millions were celebrating her Olympic victories, an important part of her journey had already taken place behind closed doors. The public mostly saw the success, but they missed the difficult moments that shaped the person she would become. Hidden in old home videos is a much more personal story, one that feels raw, emotional, and honest. These recordings were made before the second Olympic gold medal, before the headlines about her personal life, and before every decision she made became a topic of public discussion. Looking back at those moments today offers a different way of understanding her life and career. The story begins in Flint, Michigan, where Claressa was still a young woman chasing a dream that felt both exciting and frightening. There were no television cameras, no media training, and no carefully planned interviews. Instead, there was a simple phone recording showing everyday life. In one scene, she is trying to convince her younger brother to get into the car. It is an ordinary family moment, but it reveals the reality she was living every day. During that recording, she talks about how easy it is for people in Flint to feel trapped by their surroundings. She explains that many people never believe they can achieve something bigger because they cannot see opportunities beyond the struggles they face. Listening to those words today is powerful because they came from the same person who would later call herself the greatest boxer of all time. The confidence the world eventually saw did not appear overnight. It grew from years of hardship, determination, and believing in possibilities that others could not see. The videos also show Claressa dealing with family responsibilities that most teenagers never experience. In one emotional moment, she argues with a younger sibling about going to school. This is not a speech prepared for television. It is a tired older sister trying her best to guide someone she loves. She reminds the child that she has already bought new shoes and encourages them to take school, football, track, or any other opportunity seriously. She wants them to have a better future. When the sibling answers back with frustration, the conversation becomes emotional. Claressa reacts strongly, not because she wants to control them, but because she recognizes the same cycle she has spent years trying to escape. She understands how easily dreams can disappear when people stop believing in themselves. That single conversation explains a lot about her personality. Many people later criticized her for speaking boldly during interviews or responding directly to critics online. However, those old videos show that her determination and strong voice were always part of who she was. They were not created by fame or success. They were formed while growing up in difficult circumstances where speaking up often felt necessary. The confidence that some people later called arrogance was already developing long before Olympic medals or championship titles entered the picture. Another touching moment comes when Claressa quietly admits that although her family wanted her to succeed, some situations around her also made reaching that success much harder. It is not a statement filled with anger. Instead, it sounds like someone slowly realizing that chasing a dream sometimes requires painful decisions. Wanting a better future can mean leaving behind familiar people, familiar places, and old habits. Those choices are never easy, especially when family relationships are involved. Her coach also plays an important role in those early years. He constantly reminds her that once she walks into the boxing gym, everything happening outside should stay outside. Inside the ring, the only focus should be boxing. But in reality, separating those worlds was never simple. Financial stress, family struggles, housing problems, and the pressure of representing her hometown all followed her every day. Claressa openly admits that if she failed to qualify for the Olympics, she could lose important financial support and be forced to return home without achieving the future she had worked so hard to build. Imagine carrying that kind of pressure at only 20 years old. Every training session mattered. Every fight felt like it could change her life forever. When she competed during the Olympic trials in Memphis, she knew she was no longer an unknown boxer. She had already become the athlete everyone wanted to defeat. That brought a different kind of pressure because she believed people expected perfection from her. In her mind, winning was not enough. She had to dominate. She felt that any weak performance would bring criticism and raise questions about whether she deserved to remain on top. As her career continued to grow, public opinion also began to change. Some people admired her confidence, while others described her as too outspoken or too aggressive. Many believed she should act differently to fit the image of a more traditional sports star. Yet those early recordings make one thing clear. Claressa Shields was never pretending to be someone else. The determination, confidence, and willingness to speak her mind were present long before fame arrived. The old videos reveal that the person the world later debated was the same young woman who had been fighting for a better future from the very beginning. Looking back now, it becomes easier to understand that her story is not simply about winning championships. It is about surviving difficult circumstances, carrying enormous pressure, and refusing to give up on the life she believed she deserved. Long before Claressa Shields became one of the biggest names in boxing, she was simply a young woman trying to build a future that looked impossible. The world now recognizes her as an Olympic champion, a professional title holder, and a fearless personality who never hesitates to speak her mind. However, hidden behind those accomplishments is a much deeper story that many people have never seen. Old home videos capture moments that reveal her life before the fame, before the public debates, and before every decision she made became a headline. Watching those recordings today gives a completely different picture of who she was and how she became the person the world knows now. They remind us that success is often built on years of struggle that never make it into the spotlight. One of the most striking moments in those videos is when Claressa says she does not need to change who she is just to make other people happy. She clearly states that she is not interested in pretending to be someone else simply to gain approval. Looking back, that statement feels incredibly important. It sounds like the moment she decided that being authentic mattered more than fitting into the image people expected from an Olympic athlete. From that point forward, the confident and outspoken version of Claressa that fans recognize today was already beginning to take shape. She was no longer trying to please everyone around her. She had accepted that not everyone would like her, and she seemed ready to live with that reality. Still, those same videos also reveal another side of her that often gets forgotten. After talking about her own future, the camera shifts toward her younger brothers and sisters. They are laughing, playing, and spending time together like any normal family. In the middle of it all is Claressa, checking on everyone, giving advice, and trying to keep things under control. Even while chasing the biggest dream of her life, she continued carrying responsibilities that many young adults never experience. She was not only focused on becoming a champion, she was also trying to help hold her family together. Those scenes show a caring older sister who wanted the people around her to succeed just as much as she wanted success for herself. That is why these recordings feel so meaningful. They capture someone who wore every emotion openly. There were no carefully prepared interviews or public relations teams telling her what to say. She was simply living her life and speaking honestly about what she felt. She had hopes, fears, frustrations, and dreams just like anyone else. Before becoming a controversial public figure, she was a determined young woman who believed boxing could completely change her future. Winning Olympic gold was never just about becoming famous. To her, those medals represented freedom, security, and the chance to leave behind a difficult life. As the story moves back into the boxing ring, another important moment unfolds. Claressa earns a unanimous victory during the Olympic trials, securing her place at the Rio Olympics. Many people would expect an athlete to celebrate wildly after such an achievement, but that is not what happens. Instead, she quietly thanks God and reflects on everything she has accomplished. Her reaction does not look like someone showing off. It looks like someone finally breathing after carrying years of pressure on her shoulders. For her, qualifying for the Olympics meant that the life she feared returning to would remain behind her, at least for a little longer. Soon afterward, a reporter asks a simple question about what comes next in her career. Surprisingly, Claressa answers with 3 words: "I don't know." She repeats the same response more than once. At first, those words may seem unimportant, but they actually reveal something much deeper. For years, her entire focus had been reaching Olympic gold. Every sacrifice, every workout, and every difficult day had one clear purpose. Once she achieved that goal for the second time, she suddenly found herself standing at the finish line without knowing where to go next. She had spent her whole life preparing to become an Olympic champion, but nobody had prepared her for life after achieving that dream. Many people later connected changes in her public image to relationships, social media arguments, personal controversies, or boxing rivalries. However, these older moments suggest that the real turning point may have happened much earlier. The pressure did not suddenly appear after fame arrived. Instead, it slowly built over many years. Once she reached the highest level, people expected her to keep proving herself over and over again. Winning once was no longer enough. Every interview, every performance, and every public appearance came with new expectations. That kind of pressure can affect anyone, especially someone who achieved enormous success at such a young age. It is also important to remember that Claressa had spent nearly her entire life winning. She collected Olympic gold medals, world championships, and professional titles. Naturally, she may have believed that continued success would open every door. Yet reality often works differently. Even after making history, she did not always receive the same level of mainstream attention, endorsement deals, or recognition as other famous athletes. While stars from different sports became household names, she continued fighting for respect despite everything she had accomplished. Critics questioned her achievements, compared her to others, and often focused more on her personality than her victories inside the ring. Faced with that situation, Claressa responded the way she had always responded throughout her life. She fought back. Instead of staying silent, she defended herself in interviews, answered critics online, and challenged people who doubted her. Some viewed that confidence as arrogance, while others believed she was simply refusing to let people define her story. Whether people agreed with her or not, one thing remained clear. She refused to shrink herself just to make others more comfortable. As the years passed, another pattern became noticeable. Rumors, public disagreements, and relationship stories often received more attention than her accomplishments as a boxer. Headlines about her personal life sometimes overshadowed the championships she continued winning. Yet when those old home videos are compared with today's headlines, they tell a much quieter story. They show someone carrying responsibilities far beyond her age, helping raise younger siblings, supporting her family, and working relentlessly to escape difficult circumstances. Those struggles existed long before fame ever entered the picture. Perhaps that is why comparing Claressa only to other boxers misses part of the story. Her journey has similarities with many young stars who achieved incredible success before fully growing into adulthood. Whether they are singers, actors, or athletes, many talented people experience similar challenges after reaching the top at an early age. The spotlight becomes brighter, criticism becomes louder, and every mistake receives public attention. Some people adapt easily while others struggle under that constant pressure. Claressa's story may simply be another example of how difficult that transition can be. The internet often reacts strongly whenever she speaks her mind. Critics respond, she answers back, and the cycle continues. Every disagreement creates more headlines, more debates, and more attention. Ironically, everyone seems to benefit from the drama except the person living through it. Behind every public argument is still the same woman who once sat in a driveway talking about escaping Flint and creating a better future for herself and her family. One detail from those early years stands out more than anything else. As a child, Claressa often drew Olympic medals instead of expensive houses or perfect family pictures. To her, those medals symbolized hope. They represented safety, opportunity, and the belief that life could become something greater. Amazingly, she achieved that dream by winning not one but 2 Olympic gold medals, becoming the first American boxer to accomplish that remarkable feat, yet nobody explained what life would look like after reaching the top. Success did not erase every problem. Instead, it introduced an entirely new set of challenges. Many people believe that protecting success is often harder than achieving it in the first place. One poor decision, one failed relationship, one controversial interview, or one viral social media post can suddenly change how the public sees someone. At that point, talent alone is no longer enough. Strong support, trusted relationships, and emotional stability become just as important as athletic ability. Those are areas where many believe Claressa faced some of her greatest challenges. There has also been speculation that the home videos already seen are only part of a much larger collection. While nothing has been officially confirmed, some people believe there may be more recordings showing additional conversations and personal moments from those early years. If those videos ever become public, they may continue telling the same story already visible in the existing footage. Long before championship belts, television appearances, and internet debates, Claressa Shields was already speaking openly about pressure, fear, and the determination to leave a difficult life behind. Looking back now, it seems she never truly became a different person. The biggest change was not who she was, but how the world chose to see her. As the spotlight grew brighter, so did the criticism. The old videos remained exactly the same, quietly reminding everyone that the warning signs, the struggles, and the strength were there from the very beginning. As Claressa Shields became more successful, her personal life also became more complicated. The relationships around her grew more difficult, the expectations placed on her became much greater, and the pressure seemed to increase every year. Years earlier, she had openly said that she would never change who she was just to make other people accept her. Ironically, that same decision is now one of the biggest reasons many critics target her. Some people believe she is too outspoken, while others admire her for refusing to hide her personality. That contradiction makes her story much deeper than the headlines or social media arguments that usually dominate the conversation. It is also important to remember that people who have actually spent time with Claressa often describe her differently from the image many see online. According to those who know her personally, the woman who responds to criticism on social media is not always the same person they see in private. They say she still checks on family members, supports loved ones, and remains involved in their lives, even while the internet focuses on drama and controversy. Those close to her believe there is a caring and thoughtful side that rarely receives attention because it is not as exciting as public disagreements or viral headlines. Some people also believe that staying in the public eye has become part of the challenge. In today's world, attention often creates opportunities. When people stop talking about an athlete or celebrity, many business opportunities can disappear as well. Whether every social media post is carefully planned or simply an emotional reaction is something only Claressa truly knows. Sometimes her online responses seem strategic, while other times they appear to come from genuine frustration. The truth is probably more complicated than outsiders can fully understand. Instead of asking what happened to Claressa Shields, perhaps a better question is what happens when millions of people watch someone grow up under constant public attention. Every mistake, every disagreement, and every emotional moment becomes part of a permanent record that strangers feel free to judge. It is easy for people to reduce someone's entire life to a few viral clips or trending topics, but no person's story is ever that simple. Many viewers may have started following her story because of gossip or controversy. That is understandable because dramatic headlines attract attention. However, once you look beyond those stories, the conversation becomes much bigger than one boxer. It becomes a discussion about young athletes who achieve success before they have the emotional support needed to handle worldwide fame. It is about people who fight their way out of difficult situations only to discover that staying successful can be even harder than reaching the top. It is also about the pressure to appear strong all the time, even when life becomes overwhelming. There is another side to this story that involves all of us. Every click, every comment, every viral joke, and every online debate helps shape how public figures are viewed. Social media rewards conflict because it keeps people talking. As a result, controversies often receive far more attention than accomplishments. That creates a cycle where personal drama overshadows years of hard work and incredible achievements. Looking back at Claressa's early videos with fresh eyes tells a different story. Instead of focusing only on short clips that spread across the internet, it helps to watch the full moments. Watch her talking with her siblings. Watch her listening to her coach. Watch her training for the Olympic trials. Notice her quiet reaction after earning another chance to compete for gold. Those moments reveal someone carrying enormous responsibility, while still believing that boxing could completely change her future. When you know everything that happened afterward, those old recordings feel even more meaningful. They raise difficult questions. Was it fame that changed her? Was it family pressure? Was it growing up in Flint? Was it difficult relationships? Or was it years of carrying expectations that few people could truly understand? Most likely, there is no single answer. It was probably a combination of many different experiences that slowly shaped the person she became. Another powerful detail appears throughout those recordings. Even when she is not speaking, her expressions tell their own story. Sometimes a simple look says more than a long interview ever could. Throughout the videos, she is often helping someone else, fixing a problem, giving advice, or taking care of another responsibility. She constantly seems focused on supporting others. At the same time, very few people appear to be asking who was helping her carry the weight she faced every day. The people who know the complete story are probably not posting online or making videos about it. They are simply living their lives away from public attention. That is why the full picture is much more complicated than anything seen in a comment section. It reminds us that there is usually far more happening behind the scenes than the public ever realizes. Perhaps the biggest question was never who Claressa Shields became. Maybe the better question is what circumstances made her feel she had to become that version of herself. If more personal recordings ever become public, they may offer even greater insight into the challenges she faced long before she became famous. But even without them, one message already stands out. Long before the championships, the interviews, and the controversies, she was openly talking about the pressure she felt and her determination to leave a difficult life behind. One sentence from those early recordings captures the heart of her journey better than almost anything else. She says that the longer she stayed where she was, the worse things became for her. Those simple words explain why she fought so hard to succeed. They remind us that, for Claressa Shields, boxing was never just about winning titles. It was about finding hope, creating a better future, and escaping circumstances she believed would hold her back forever. Sometimes a single sentence can tell an entire story long before anyone else recognizes its meaning.